There is a kind of power that speaks without words, a presence that draws eyes without asking, and a gravity that pulls others in without effort. Most men chase attention, not realizing that the moment you chase, you place yourself beneath it. This is not about tricks, games, or trying to impress. It is about becoming the kind of man whose silence says more than another's speech. If you want to master this, you're in the right place. Welcome to Dark Stoicism. Subscribe, listen closely, and let every word sharpen the man you were meant to become. The truth is, women are not drawn to noise, but to the quiet certainty of a man who does not need their gaze to feel complete. They do not crave a man who performs for their amusement, but a man whose life is already full, whose actions are driven by principles, not impulses. Such a man's presence is rare, and rarity is magnetic. When you move with intention, when your energy is not scattered in search of validation, you send the silent signal, one they can feel long before they understand it. That is the essence of silent moves. You see, the modern world conditions men to speak before they think, to act before they understand, to react before they reflect. But the man who is unmoved by this frenzy becomes a quiet force. He is not in a hurry to prove himself, because his worth is already settled in his own eyes. He is not in competition for the loudest voice, because he understands that the loudest man is often the weakest. A quiet mind is a sharp mind, and a sharp mind can cut through the illusions others live by. When you walk into a room without trying to dominate it, but with the calm assurance that you belong anywhere you choose to be, something happens. Eyes turn. Conversations pause. Curiosity awakens. They wonder why you're so composed, why you're so unaffected, why you're so difficult to read. Mystery is born from restraint, not from fabrication. A man who guards his inner world commands more respect than one who spills it recklessly. The less you reveal, the more others want to know. And in that wanting, attention is given freely without you having to ask. Restraint is not weakness. It is power under control. Most men think attraction is about constant action, showing interest, chasing, proving. They fail to see that the strongest attraction is built when you create space for the other person to move toward you. Silence creates this space. Stillness creates this gravity. When you do not rush to fill every gap in conversation, when you do not scramble to explain yourself, when you are content to let a moment breathe, you signal that you are not desperate for connection, you are selective about it. And selection is one of the greatest forms of power you have. A man who is selective with his time, his attention, his words, and his presence is a man who communicates value without speaking it. When you give nothing away cheaply, you make everything you offer more precious. This is not about pretending to be cold. It's about knowing that not everyone should have full access to your mind, your heart, or your time. Those who recognize this will lean closer, trying to earn the pieces you choose to share. The unspoken truth is that desire grows in the absence of certainty. When someone feels they have already figured you out, their mind relaxes, their curiosity fades, and your presence becomes ordinary. But when you move with deliberate unpredictability, not in an erratic way, but in a way that shows you cannot be fully anticipated, you become endlessly fascinating. You are not a page they can skim. You are a book they cannot put down. Each interaction feels like a glimpse into something deeper, and they want the next page. There's also the power of observation. Most people are too busy thinking of what to say next to truly see what's in front of them. But when you watch closely, reading not just words, but tone, movement, and unspoken emotion, you position yourself differently. You begin to understand people in ways they don't even understand themselves. And when you respond from this deeper awareness, your words carry more weight. You seem to just know things. That quality is intoxicating because it's so rare. And in relationships, rarity breeds attraction. Another silent move is mastery over your body language. The way you carry yourself is a constant broadcast. You can say nothing and still speak volumes. Stand with balance, not stiffness. Move with purpose, not haste. Keep your gestures controlled, your eye contact steady, but not aggressive. These are the nonverbal cues that tell others you are centered, that you do not seek permission to be where you are. And when you direct your gaze, let it be intentional, never darting around like prey, but calmly scanning like a man who has nothing to fear. Self-sufficiency is perhaps the most magnetic silent move of all. When your life is already full with purpose, discipline, and meaning, you stop approaching people from a place of lack. You no longer need them to fill your emptiness. You invite them to join your fullness. That shift in energy is everything. Women can sense the difference between a man who wants them to complete him and a man who is already complete, who simply chooses to share himself. The first is dependent, the second is free. And freedom is irresistible. Discipline also speaks louder than words. A man who can control his impulses, whether it's in eating, speaking, spending, or reacting, commands a silent respect. Self-control shows that you are the master of yourself, and mastery is attractive on every level. Most men are slaves to their urges, and it shows. The man who is not can stand apart simply by existing. His presence feels different. He is trusted more. And trust is a currency far more valuable than charm or wit. Patience is another invisible magnet. The man who does not rush outcomes, who can wait without frustration, communicates a deep strength. Patience shows that you are not desperate for results, and desperation is the fastest way to kill attraction. Women feel safest around men who are not frantic, who can let things unfold naturally without forcing them. That kind of patience suggests that you are confident in both yourself and the flow of life, and that makes your attention feel more earned when it finally comes. The final layer is authenticity without self-exposure. You are genuine in your words and actions, but you do not hand over your entire self like a cheap gift. You share what is true, but you protect what is private. You let others know you, but not own you. This balance between openness and guardedness creates an aura that keeps people leaning in. They feel the warmth of your honesty, but they also sense the depth of what remains unseen. That is the paradox that draws them closer again and again. All of these silent moves are rooted in one truth. You cannot fake them. They are not tricks to manipulate others, but natural expressions of a man who has disciplined himself into strength. They arise from a calm mind, a steady heart, and a life lived with integrity. When you cultivate those things, the signals you send through your presence, your patience, your discipline, and your restraint become undeniable. You no longer have to seek attention. It seeks you, and when it comes, you will not be swayed by it. You will not need to cling to it or chase it, because your value is not defined by who notices you. You will see attention for what it truly is, a reflection of the work you have done within yourself, not the source of your worth. That is the kind of man women crave, not because he tries to be, but because he simply is. If you are listening to these words and something in you knows this is the man you were meant to be, then stop chasing, stop performing, and start building. Build your discipline, your patience, your focus, and your purpose. Speak less, mean more. Give less, value more. Move quietly, but with strength. And above all, live in such a way that your very existence becomes an unspoken challenge for others to rise to your level. This is Dark Stoicism. If you have found value here, subscribe. Let these words stay with you, not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. The world is loud. Be the man who speaks in silence, and watch how they lean into, hear,